Welcome back to Monster Train. If I remember correctly, we are Stygian today. Let me go make sure of that. I think it was melting. Oh, or melting. No, not. I think it was awoken melting, right? No, it was. Oh, it was the frostbite run. Stygian melting. We're Umbra today. Hey, I didn't get to play much Umbra on the stream last night, unfortunately. It's weird because I still haven't cracked that 4-win streak in this game, and yet my win rate has gone up exponentially. Like, I'm averaging, I'm winning, last night I won 4 of 8 runs, 50%, and then I've had, 5 of 8. I usually get about 8 runs in over the course of my 5-hour stream. And I usually win about, there's some runs that feel doomed, but... Anyway, moving on. Seraph the Diligent, because this is the only Seraph I fight anymore, it feels like. Pack Morsels, Ice Tornado, Engine Upgrade. These cards are very good. Ice Tornado is also acceptable. Crack this bad boy open first. We get a Firebox. That's interesting. I mean, I hate Light's Gift. I'm very angry at this relic. However, there's not a whole lot that this can do to hurt me. I've had this, I've taken this before when it wasn't bad, then had it sneak up on me and become bad, but, in Umbra Stygian, how bad can this possibly be? I think it should be good. I will tell you why. We get Trample at Penumbra, and we just put Trample Penumbra on the top 4 for these first 2 combats, and we should be able to take every trial. Well, when you go up to? You go up to 40 exactly? I still think it's fine to take this. I think it's fine. Let's do it. It feels like I'm much better at this game, and yet the win streak isn't getting too high. However, at the same time, I don't really worry too much about the win streak, if that makes sense. I talk about it a little bit because it's what people want to see, but I don't really stress it too much. The reason that I don't stress it too much is because, there's variance in this game. I said we were going to set up top 4 with Penumbra, but because of the armor trial, mostly that Day's plan is only for aggressive trials, such as, lets us catch a bonus damage trial very easily, or something like that. And we want to be giving Penumbra morsels. It's fine. I hear my cat meowing outside the door. If you hear that noise, I'm sorry, but he's not coming in. He is a menace. He has joined me before during recording, and I would not recommend it. He's very noisy. He requires constant attention, or else. And overall, it's not a good idea. This is my time to record. He's not coming in here. That's all there is to it. Alright, come out of this combat fine. We get a unit draft. I've found myself doing this thing, take Umbra, so where I could pass this. I always take a unit from this, and then the unit sometimes becomes worthless. So, let's consider. We're gonna get an Umbra banner. Allied Construct, I keep going back and forth on if it's worth it or not. Icy Cilophyte I think is good. She kills backline, and she lets you kill frontline as well. I think this unit's just really strong. We do have a spell for her to finish off with as well. I'm gonna give her a shot. Throw her +10 and quick, or large stone and quick would be better, if that's harder to land. Chop has multi-strike +10, +25. Umbra banner has Crucible Warden isn't a bad pick here. We can't feed him a ton of morsels, but he does alright. And the reason he does alright is because I can put him... Icy Cilophyte needs a tank right now. That's why he's okay. However, let's consider, right? Because I think I will pick him, and then we'll take space. Yeah, I think this is the way to go. But this is the thing, right? These 2 units going together are fine, but we might also just walk into the Stygian banner and find a shark, and be much happier with that. However, she's going to take a multi-strike, she's going to take a +25, and she's not going to take a quick because we're just going to give her a tank. She can tank herself if we get large stone quick, but that's really hard to do. Right, this Mark of Invasion is the reason I wanted Light's Gift, basically. I'm still going to take the damage, but it's not going to hurt my top 4 unit. Now, in this combat, Icy Cilophyte may face a bit of struggling here. But it should be okay. You're not dying, are you? 6? Oh, you're dying. No, you're taking 8. I can just have a Train Steward tank it for you. Take you down to 2. And minimize our damage taken. It's okay. Crucible Warden, he's gonna require me to take space, but it should be fine. 6 damage for 75 gold is acceptable. Okay. Cilophyte goes here. Our morsel generation is just okay, basically. Kill you two. Not Bono, but those 2 enemies. You two, I don't know. I haven't listened to any U2 to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan. If you are, I respect that decision though. Stand for what you believe in, which is apparently U2. Remember when they had that fucking, they released that album that was just forced on everyone through Apple Music and everyone lost their goddamn minds? That was a weird time. Okay, I gotta hit you, I gotta kill the redirector because he's gonna die, right? Because the 8 hits him. I gotta play it like this and then I think this goes smoother. Smoother. And smoother. Obviously the twist change that we want to find here is we want to find a Crucible Collector instead of this guy, but even if we don't, it's probably fine, right? I mean, look at that, 8 spell weakness. He's already dead, but he's also not even gonna get to hit. I don't know, he gets to do 8 damage to Penumbra. Never mind, I'll kill him with Frozen Lance. Alright. Solid 6 damage. We're strong right now, and now we need to transition this into later strength as well. So, Prismal Dust for Cilophyte is good to help her survive tough combats. She's basically Tethys right now. At this point in the run, she's essentially filling the role of Tethys, but she's 1 space larger and does a little more damage. We're gonna look for Holdover and -1 here. Permafrost, we get the -1 at least. We want to hold over Helical Crystallis. I can roll and find it. Yeah, it's fine. Rolled too high of a cost anyway. Throw a +10 onto, probably +10 on the Umbra. So no, we don't need to do that right now. It's something that you want to do before Seraph, but we don't need to do it right now. Just gonna make one of these tornadoes better. See what's in the caverns. Awoken consumable. Oh, give me a space person, please. Thank you. Umbra really does feel like the best one to do from that event. Umbra and Awoken. But Awoken's a little less good if you're not Awoken, because Sap is not as good outside of the Awoken clan, because you're not going to be full committing to regen if you're not playing Awoken, because you can't. Well, you can, you just have to find Spreading Spores somewhere, but anyway. Space Prism helps this out a lot. I could have thrown a Train Steward down. This combat lasts 6 rounds, so we draw 30 cards before. I guess in total we'll draw 42 cards. 6 rounds here, and then 2 rounds with Daedalus, moving up the train. Steel Morsel is good. You'll have 2 damage shield. I think I want to play Frozen Lance here, so that these 2 and 2 damage shield should be fine. It should be plenty. My how many cards do we draw math is just important to note because we will not draw through this deck very much. It's not super important to be playing Train Steward if there's a better card, because we're probably not going to be drawing it again. We just hope we kill the bomb here. No. I mean, Umbra Morsel saves a lot. Yeah, that's fine. That's plenty. You can see the struggle of Damage Shield Lord here. I need to get upgrades for him. He needs a little health for his tanking role so he's not so fragile. 10 health is just pitiful. Like, it's just really bad. He's really struggling. And also this is a combat that's tough for him. I think Ice Tornado's better here. Engine upgrade's cool, but this combat doesn't really last long enough for me to need it, I don't think. Number's doing a nice little bit of cleanup up there. I think we're just gonna slam this for 3. Why do I put it there, you may be wondering? And the answer is because this damage shield, basically, the difference here is putting damage shield on her means that it always goes to Daedalus. Putting damage shield here just means that it gets eaten up by these guys. If that makes sense. And Umbra morsel to take the damage shield for him. You can like, there's probably a way to do the math where it works out either way, but I think that this is fine. You got lifesteal morsel's really good, and I'll have the energy morsel tanks around either way because it gives the damage shield actually, so it's fine either way you play it. Although I can just kill him. Yeah. Now he tanks 2 rounds. Look at that. And then Umbra morsel goes up here. Clean Daedalus fight. We have spell weakness, but we don't need it, which is like, this is the optimal position to be in my opinion, putting down 26 spell weakness and then not requiring to draw this. That's solid. We're definitely taking space from this for big Penumbra and for them to have 3 morsels on their floor. 3 really good choices here. So, Ancient Synergy does more than Forever Consume, but you always have to play it at 3. Furnace Tap is good for Penumbra, period. But it's awkward because you're going to be taking... Like, you have to pass 4 rounds for Furnace Tap to work, right? Playing this ahead of the Relentless Combat isn't that... Or playing this 1 round before the Relentless Combat isn't that good. As you can see, the bosses are typically dying ahead of time. Or, like, we don't need it, right? The Furnace Tap is good because it lets Penumbra, with a little assistance, kill 2 heavies. Penumbra needs to buff 20 attack and then kills double heavies in the endgame. Ancient Synergy just kills heavies, though, right? Like, with Icy Cilophyte, which seems to be how we're going to be going through heavies right now. I think that this is a fine pickup. And it will kill 2. Oh, there's the shark. Do I pick him? That's a tough question. I think I don't, honestly. We have the answer already, and I think that clogging this deck up with a ton of units can be bad. Although, no, I will pick him and then I'll dupe the Cilophyte so we can set up 2 floors of spell weakness. I like that. And then we take space. Alright. We have a relatively okay setup here. We need to remove all the Train Stewards and remove some of the worst spells. Instead of duplicating, I think... Because when's our next duplicate? Post-fell. But we don't need it urgently, I would argue. And I want to get removing... We're at 30 cards, we want to get this down to 20. Doing that is going to require going this way, and we want to get some 25s into our units as well. So Train Stewards can go, our train is basically full. Go ahead and make big Penumbra here. Yeah, 80 attack. And then... Oh, Endless Shark. Who doesn't like a little Endless Shark, am I right? I am right, yes. The numbers always are weird with the shark being endless. You gotta think about it, it never makes sense because the combats, I don't know what the best practice is. Leaving him at 35, taking him up to 45, taking him up to 60, taking him up to, like, what is it, 75? I don't know. What's the right health break point? I guess I'm just gonna leave him at 35 and we're gonna see what happens. You desperately need health. I'm gonna give you this +5, +10. Him ending at 45 versus him ending at 60 shouldn't make a big difference. And I think that the immediate effect is good. I'm not afraid of spikes here, I don't think. An interesting one. We have a pretty well-defined, straightforward plan here that we just need to execute on now. Well, I should have been afraid of spikes. Spike's plan was fine as long as I didn't miss my man. Maybe I should have put Penumbra down there? Yeah, I should have put Penumbra down there, I guess. My man being Titan Sentry. Okay. You're dying, unfortunately. The only way to save her would have been to Ice Tornado this floor, but missing this shark is worse. I think we're going to turn Crucible Warden into our carry for this combat then. It's kind of awkward, but it should be fine. These morsels die though. Maybe space was a problem here. Or not space, maybe spikes was a real big problem here. It would be no problem if I guess it would still be a problem because she'd still be dying. Yeah, I shouldn't have taken spikes. That's alright. I'm gonna space prism top 4. This run's gonna come down to having Penumbra carry us. And then we may as well throw these for the extra 6 damage. Put them here though. They attack, so they just kill themselves. We'll see how it goes. This run, it can go very, very awry, I think. But it should be fun. Okay, so we're gonna throw Train Steward down. Well, maybe not. I have to Prismal Dust him for 1 to even have him live, but I don't know if him living really matters. Huh. So what I should have done here is I should have... There's a way we play this slightly differently, and I'm not even sure if it matters, but... Oh, whoops. The way that you play this one out differently and have it go a little smoother is you... I play Penumbra... When I didn't draw the Titan Sentry, I should have recognized that this floor was going to fall apart. And honestly, this floor was always going to fall apart, looking at it now. But if I had played Penumbra on a different floor, like bottom floor, I could have then, when the Sentry died, moved him with Penumbra when I Space Prismed. However, I think we have enough spells to walk out of this fine anyway. Just a little awkward. Porcupine might be a little scary. But we'll see. This is second to last round. We have Brief Respite, right? Yeah. Nice. Need a Lifesteal Morsel. Health is better. Penumbra's not really taking a ton of damage thanks to the days, so it's the Light's Gift is doing alright here today. Performing its duties admirably. I believe she spawns with 2 9/2s behind her. Let's see if I'm correct. Yeah. I am. 3 spells. Probably play Antumber Assault for some lifesteal, finally. Oh, I have to spell up here if I want to not take 9 actually. And I will not take 9. We can afford to. No big deal. It lowers the frostbite, but it's still fine. The run isn't dependent on that frostbite, I don't think. And eating morsels actually does make a difference here. The morsels are a permanent buff. Now, Prismal Dust, you could not be speaking. It's Lifesteal 1. Prismal Dust times 3 probably just takes this home, right? 56. I'm like, yeah, pretty sure this just wins us the fight. Saves 2 rounds, and, you know, should be plenty. Oh, plus the days, right? Yeah. Yeah, clean. Big Penumbra wins it for us. Surprise, surprise. Oh, Sigiled Seaweed against Diligent. What a great pickup. I hope it doesn't silence any collectors, though I've never actually seen that happen. Myself. I'll take Grovel. Fine pick. And then... I like taking Unnamed Tome, especially against Diligent. We want to be careful about adding too many cards. Yeah, I don't think I need it. We have enough cards. I've been moving away from picking this card up. It's okay, but it's not insane. You can make a case for Frenzied Swarm there, too. There's a few options there. But I'm just gonna take it easy. No removals. I guess we do want to pick up some spell stuff, but we don't have much money. We can still see something good here. Plus we get an event. Ah, another space. Although, we could take History of the World, but if it goes top 4, it's sad. But if it goes middle 4 or bottom 4, we get a ton of space for morsels. Could also take Frozen Nostalgia here. Plus 15 is a lot. Like, that's a lot of damage. We have a lot of damage spells. Huh. Each of these is really good in its own right. Railforger's Hammer is the best on average. History of the World has high rolls and low rolls, and then I don't know about Frozen Nostalgia. The problem is that it'll make it harder to play Penumbra. I'll basically be forced to take space to go to level 6 Penumbra. I think I'll go with just the hammer. Like, it's the most... There's no downside to it, basically. The downside to History of the World is if it goes on the top 4, we just struggle greatly. Hold over. Now, what's the best one to hold over? Probably Ancient Synergy. It's gonna cost 2, but... Well, then again, at 2 spell weakness, we kill... This is a 75, 150. This is probably better. Alright. Feeling okay here, at least. Not 100%, we got a lot of impurities to hammer out of this deck, but we're feeling alright. I think this will only do 6 to me. Should only do 6, I should say. Oh yeah, and they get like, some of them get silenced, so it does potentially less. Oh, this 4, never mind. Look at all this space we have. We can now move the shark up here after he dies, which is pretty sweet. You can take 8. And we can save all the damage here. Cool. And maybe he can't take 8, I don't know. It seems like he should be fine to take 8, I guess I should say. Look at those silences coming in. What a great pickup. Alright, Cilophyte can go here. Shark goes here, and we look for a lifesteal morsel. Damage shield morsel is fine as well. It's a weird one just because you can see the flaws of Crucible Warden, which are just that he is struggling to survive. He needs a plus 25. This deck just needs 2 plus 25 healths whenever we can swing that. But it's not of the utmost importance, it would just be nice. Yeah, this is better. Chump blocking for this guy with morsels against a single enemy is weird, because he's just losing 1 damage shield, so eating the morsel gains him as much damage shield as he loses. Which makes it feel strange. The morsel miner. You want a lifesteal for sure. I think we just give all of our morsels to the Gorge Lord down here. I'll go ahead and Ancient Synergy. May as well do this as well. I guess I should have made a morsel for Penumbra, but you know. It's like the sort of min-max that doesn't really need to happen. We're gonna win no matter how you slice it here. Double packed morsels. I think it's fine to just kill here. Save you. Although, the engine upgrade is nice as well. The engine upgrade is really a long-term pickup though. Like, it's something that doesn't really become too important until a little later in the run. Oh, losing this guy not getting his ability is really helpful. I guess more space here is fine. It'll let me get the shark in as well, which is nice. Little extra round here. Ancient Synergy I should probably hang on to. The morsels aren't that important. Okay, go ahead and put the shark down. I think we might just win off of that, yeah. Turns out the shark is pretty strong, who knew? We can even fit a train steward in here. This Sigiled Seaweed farmed this combat like crazy. Like, this did insane amounts of work here. That silenced so many sycophants. Like, that was kind of nuts. None of this. Probably none of this as well. Although I could throw a Mollusk Mage up with Penumbra just to really seal the deal up there. We have 7 space. It's awkward if I lose space on that floor after getting Trample Penumbra next level. And I don't think this is that good. How about Cuddle Hex, though? That's pretty strong. And Cuddle Hex, I think that the Magic Boy doesn't make a very large impact, is why I'm going to pass him. And I'll pick Cuddle Hex, because Cuddle Hex actually does make a pretty big impact on the run. And on top of that, like, if it's bad, we can just throw him on the middle floor. Large stone. Okay. We have 7 space. You'll take 3, you'll take 2. That's 5. Other shark comes in, and that's 6, 7. For the endless round. But giving this guy 40 health is a lot of health. Now, similar option here, right? Basically same option. However, the shark is endless. He can't move. Like he wants to be killed 3 times. He wants to die on the bottom floor against the boss, be placed in front of the warden for this on the 2nd floor, and then be placed in front of Penumbra on the 3rd floor. I think we go like this, essentially. And I'll roll for health. No health. +5/+10 is probably fine. I'm gonna just take that, because taking this, I don't want to have to look at any more Merchant of Steels if I don't have to. So we're gonna throw like 2 damage shield here, call it a day. And we got Curse Fell. I knew it was Curse Fell. I didn't take energy because I think space was more important here. Even with getting the Railforger's Hammer, it's just really nice to have all this space. Against this Fell, we just want to get our engine upgrade as fast as possible, or get our shark out. Either option handles the problem, which is... The biggest problem against this Fell is the 2nd turn. Next turn, where there's 2 Absolvers, and she ultimate penances at the end of that turn, so you'll end up with a full hand of 4 energy total. I'm going to eat this 5 damage. And we'll want a Space Prism on this 4. Is this a run where I'm actually just actively considering picking up another space? That's crazy. That would just be insane. No shark. Hey. Hey, that's the problem right there. Okay. It's fine. Oh, one of them got silenced too, so it's actually 100% fine. We can play. We have 4 energy. We're only taking 3 energy worth of curses. Okay. Oh, with that damage shield, he also acts as like a pseudo tank for the Fell round. He'll take a hit for Icy Cilophyte. There's the shark. The setup to this deck is tough, I gotta say. But once we get set up, it's fine. The question becomes, what's the best thing to do to help our setup along? There's a few options. It's energy or draw, obviously. Those are the 2 options. Surprise. Which one are we going to pick up, though? That's going to be the question. Probably going to want to look to duplicate the Space Prism. I could have put it up here to get the shark up there, but putting it here for the shark here is probably better. And by probably, I mean it's almost definitely better. Right on. Okay. Cuddle Hex also like stops me from redrawing these cards ever, so I never have to be like, oh hey. Like if I don't want to play these Frozen Lances, I never have to. If there comes a turn where it's good to, I can play it, but I never have to play Frozen Lance. And the way you can tell we're in a strong position right now is, despite having a holdover spell weakness plan, we don't need it, right? We have this holdover spell weakness plan, but we don't need it to kill single heavies. It's only here to kill double heavies, which is a really good sign. Get rid of this. We have 3, 6, 9. Plant Umbra Assault for 2 morsels is good. And then probably play Ancient Synergy. 2 damage morsels. Just feed more spell shield or damage shield here. And then I will start holding this card over. We're strong. We're very strong. Our biggest problem is no Titan's Claw. Right, like these cards eventually... Against this Fell, it's hard to cast all of these cards. However, as time goes on, this combat, or this problem basically goes away. Yeah. Look at that. Penumbra kills them, even though... Like, we have spell weakness on them and Penumbra kills them. Our damage output on this 4 is very nice. Oh, I overdrew. Whoops. It happens. I hope that they change it so that it shows... Like, I hope that in the DLC they add in an option to see how many cards you have in hand at a glance. That would help me a lot anyway. I may as well do this. I mean, actually I may as well do... Crystallis to save 1 damage shield is an interesting call. However, I think it's fine not to. Because I don't want to freeze too many cards, and I'll hold Crystallis until I absolutely need it. I believe because we have Cuddle Hex, we're taking energy. We don't necessarily need the draw. 3 of our draws are spoken for here. Oh yeah, that's the whole deck. That's the whole turn right there. Curse Fell makes it a little more awkward though, to be fair. Just guarantee the freeze on Ancient Synergy. The Prismal Dust isn't a big deal here. More important is just having Ancient Synergy for the Fel Relentless turn. How much does this do? Wow. Just, wow. That's a lot. We may as well make morsels here. Better to create some damage shield, I think, than anything else. This card's frozen, so I don't have to play it. Getting rid of some frozen cards is good. Yeah, this is definitely an energy build. Although it's weird to look at it like this and go, this is an energy build because, or an energy situation, because Fel makes it more awkward to choose when I kill her. May as well kill her now. It's fun. Penumbra didn't even have to do anything. Penumbra killed like one wave, I think. One wave that I could have handled myself. That's good. So here's an interesting thing to point out as well. Oh, Shroud Spike. Yeah, that's just a really good one right there. And then we gotta take energy here. Even with engine upgrade, I think 5 energy, this deck is still struggling. Here's an interesting thing though. I think that if we get Architect Penumbra, we pick it. I said we were gonna duplicate the Cilophyte. I think that's still good because then we get to put a Cilophyte on the bottom 4 for Diligent. Take no curses. Yeah. I want to see which Penumbra we get. Okay. Do I pick Architect? It's a really good question, and I think the answer is yeah. So, most spells with this double Cilophyte setup are going to... basically, all of the heavies are going to go up pretty heavily chunked. By the time we get to double heavy waves, we should have a kill spell to finish them off. I think that what taking Architect Penumbra does is it lets me move the Cuddle Hex to Penumbra's floor, lets me always put Penumbra top 4, which is what I want. Penumbra's just on cleanup duty right now. Lets me get the Cuddle Hex up there, and which lets me play more morsels on the middle floor. I'm gonna go for this. It's really weird, right? Like, it's how often do you ever find yourself in a position like this where pivoting into Architect Penumbra ends up being a strong play? The answer is not many times, but I'm okay with moving spells here. And we're gonna duplicate Cilophyte. Cool. This combat will be very telling. The only one we really don't want is Shade Wings. Purifiers is probably the best one. Plus 8 is okay. You gotta do the math. It's 8, 18, and 11, which is 29. Kills him every round, right? He just dies every round exactly. No, it isn't, right? Because it's 8, 18, and 11. Yeah. Which is... it's 37, which means that he's going to be dying at an awkward rate. Every other round I'm going to need to do something to make sure my Icy Cilophyte doesn't get killed. 400 coins, though. I think that we are strong enough to take this. If we were lower on health, I would be more concerned, but since we're at 135, I think that we can take this with confidence. Silence, very nice. Losing space here is less nice, but we cannot keep her alive? Isn't that strange? I can keep her alive. As long as this doesn't make an Antumbra morsel, we can save her. Ah, fuck. Alright. It's fine that she doesn't get played down there because he got silenced. It's fine. I want to get my Cilophyte down there because she wants to be killing Purifiers as fast as possible is all. Hello. Awkward draw. It is me having an awkward draw here. 2, 3, no way. I can't. This is the problem of having too many units, right? Sometimes this happens to you. Not much you can do about it. We take a curse here as well. And also, too many units and only 5 draw. Our first time through the deck is really difficult. Once we get through it, it's fine, but you know. We're basically playing a run where I go, yeah, hope we don't draw like this again on Seraph, right? Hope we draw the shark first, is all. Good silence. He's taking 37 around. We're losing our Cilophyte here. It's really tough, right? The high damage output is awkward because of the fact that I just can't draw my units properly. Probably might have actually thrown the run for taking this trial. I guess we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think we have to edit our plan, essentially. This combat stops you from getting your nice easy peasy setup. That's all it does. And what it's going to force us to do is it's going to force us to play this one out in a strange manner. Should be okay, though. See what's in the pack morsels really quick. 3 damage morsels. This goes here. Always. I'm just gonna accept this damage. It's a lot of damage, but I'm just gonna take it. If we had Trample Penumbra, if we fully committed to Trample Penumbra, it would have been a little better, obviously, but that's okay. I mean, I have the health for it. Trading, this is a situation where I'm willing to trade a lot of health for a lot of gold because we can. We can afford to. I hope. Cilophyte, we still haven't cycled back through, right? This is a deck that takes, like, if the bad draw cycles are really, really bad, but the +8 is why this looks so bad. It's not as bad as it looks. I'm gonna put, so the pivot in this strategy is we're going to put the sentry up here. Shark's going up here. And we're just gonna start hitting this floor with Ancient Synergy every turn. And we'll see. I shouldn't die off of this, it's just gonna do a lot of damage to me, I think. But it shouldn't kill. I hope. It shouldn't kill. There's some morsel down here. Umbra up here. Like, in this combat, we don't draw through our deck until, like, after final round. Now, it's because of the holdover and the self-mutilations, of course, but still. Tough one. Gotta play the shark down here. We're gonna take a little bit of hit here. Yeah, it's another big chunk. It's like 50 something, right? 44, I believe, is what I just looked at there. Okay. Get to find out if I threw the run or not. An interesting one. It looks like maybe, actually. Shark should go in front. He's gonna steal the eats, though. But he should still go in front because he takes 2 rounds? He takes 2 rounds. Actually, it's even, right? He takes 2 rounds versus Crucible Warden taking 2 rounds and getting the buffs. It's probably better to put the shark behind then. Yeah, and then Ancient Synergy. It's an interesting loss if I lose this. Let's see. This is definitely a loss of overconfidence if I end up losing it. Close. Very, very close. Whatever this morsel is, I don't put it. I just hope it's good enough, yeah. Because putting it in front, he's dazed. Am I dead? I am just barely dead. How about that? What an interesting loss. I just took 135 damage on that combat. How about it? Could not take the +8. The problem with that deck was inconsistency. Absolutely. I think duplicating the Icy Cilophyte was bad. It was greed, and I shouldn't have done it. I could have probably taken that trial without duplicating her because, basically, the reason we lost that is because of draw priority, right? This is why I herald being very cautious and all of that about draw priority. I drew taking a second Icy Cilophyte caused me to draw both of them before I drew into one of my tanks, causing me to lose both of them. which is really bad. Like that's just really, really bad. And the fact that that happened there is unfortunate. Because I only had 5 card draw, you can learn from this. When you only have 5 card draw, you gotta be really careful about doing things like that. The second Icy Cilophyte probably wasn't required, and it hurt the consistency of the deck too much to work, because having 2 but not being able to play either is much worse than having only 1 but always being able to play it. So the way that it would work there if I didn't take the second Icy Cilophyte, is play the first Icy Cilophyte I draw on the top floor, and then whichever tank I draw goes in front of her. And then we take less damage and survive. It's an interesting one. Really, really interesting one. Something you can learn a lot from how we lost that one. Because we went from really, really out of control strong to dead in 1 pickup, and the pickup was actually duplicating her. So it's not always right to duplicate. How about that? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave me a like. Subscribe if you want to see more. I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.